Welcome to the AutoCAD Chapter 19 lecture, Grip Editing. After completing this chapter, you should be able to use grips variable to enable or disable object grips, be able to activate grips on any object, be able to make an object grip hot or cold, be able to use each grip editing option, namely stretch, move, rotate, scale, and mirror, be able to use the copy and base sub options, be able to use the auxiliary grip that is automatically created when the copy sub option is used, and be able to change variables in the grip dialog box. All right, so what are grips? Well, to activate a grip, you simply click on something like this, or like this line right here. Let's go with this line, zoom in on it. All right, these are your grips. So the grips are currently cold. Cold grips mean that they're blue. And I'll show you later you can change the colors. But cold grips mean that they're blue. Now you can do lots of different things with grips. You can type in DD grips. There, enter. And you have all of your grip options come up, which we will talk about later. But I just wanted to show you that right now. So, if you want to activate a grip, like we just talked about, you would select line. There are your grips. Now, there are two different kinds of grips. There are hot grips and cold grips. What you're looking at right now is cold grips. When grips are turned on and the object is selected, then this is a cold grip. So these three grips right here are your cold grips. Blue grips you see right there. Right. Okay. One or more grip can be made hot. A hot grip is created by hovering the cursor over a cold grip until it changes to pink. So if you see here, if I hover now, it is the color pink right there. If I click on it, now it's red. That is the hot grip. A hot grip and its object are always going to be highlighted because it's what you're moving around and you've got lots of different ways to move, and that would be a hot grip. So that turns ready, and then now it's a hot grip. You can do the same thing on that one. Now that's a hot grip. So to select it, that's how you turn it into a hot grip from a cold grip. All right, so for the grip state, on cold grips means grips are deactivated. So I can't move any of these grips right now because they're not active. And on hot grips, grips are activated. If I press escape once, it unactivates it. If I'm on a hot grip, I have to press escape twice to get rid of it. Okay? Let's look at grip system variables. So, grip. So there are three different settings. If we set 0 and we select an object, grips are off. There are no grips. You can see the grips are gone that we just saw a moment ago. If you do grips, you enter 1, grips show up. Let's look at this polyline. Okay, you can see all those grips. If I do grips again and I enter 2, now you'll notice on the polyline these little dashes in between. So we usually keep it on 2. We usually keep it on 2, but you can turn them off or have just the grips themselves on and not the centers of the grips. So the grip menu, if you hover over a grip like this, you have options, stretch or lengthen. So you can choose S for stretch, and then you can stretch it out as far as you'd like. L for lengthen, and instead of stretching the line, it'll lengthen it. It'll just move the line. I grabbed 2 there, sorry about that. Okay. And then if you right click while it's selected, you have a different menu come up. Right click, where you can erase, move, copy, scale, rotate, all those things. Oh, all these come up under that. You have all these different options you can do to it, and it goes from that grip, obviously. The grip that you had selected. There we go, yeah. So this all goes from that grip right there. So those are different options you can do. If you select it and then right click, it comes up with other options like stretch, lengthen, move, rotate, scale, mirror, things like that. So there are different options. We already talked about stretch. Now there's move. You guys know how move works. We've used it before. You just move the object to a different location. There is rotate, which I just showed you a second ago. And see, if I select this grip, then it would rotate from that grip and not from the center. It rotates or moves or whatever from whichever grip you selected. All right. Then they also have scale. That means, say I want to take this circle, select the middle grip, I want to scale it, I want to make it twice the size that it already is. So right now it's 1, so I'd say 2, enter, it'd make it twice the size it already is by scaling. Then there's mirror. Say I want to take, let's do this object, and I want to mirror it. Right click, mirror, and you decide I want it to be exactly like that, and then it mirrors it for you. And notice the grips on some of these, right? This has a grip at the center. If this was a full circle, that would be the center of it, so it's got a 4th grip. And then don't forget also your circle has 5 grips, 4 on the outside, 1 in the middle. So those are your grips for that. All right, if you want to copy and move something, and you want to move it straight up and down, you could turn on ortho, or you could do it the faster, easier way. Select it. Select the whole thing to move. Click here. Instead of moving around, you hold the shift key on your keyboard, and then it can only move in a 90-degree or up and down, I should say 0, 180, or 90, or 270, not 180, 0, 270. It can only go up, down, or side to side. You can't move it any angle, but as soon as you let go of shift, then you can move it around wherever you go. Hold down shift again. It can only be up, down, left, or right. All right, also you can edit your dimensions. I have some dimensions over here. You can see this is dimension from this point to this point. But what if there's something else drawn right there and that's dimensions in the way and I want to move it? I can literally just click on it and move it with the anchor point that we've been talking about. So I can move it over here, move it over here. You can even move it to the outside of it if you want. Have it show like that. So whatever you would like to do would work on that. That is a way to move around and edit those dimensions. All right, there's also multifunctioning grips. So the way to turn that on or off, let's see, multifunctional grips. Multifunctional grips provide an enhanced mode of grip editing for specific objects like lines, polylines, arcs, elliptical arcs, splines, dimensions, multileaders, things like that. So multi-dimensional would be like on this spline. If I were to click on this, you'll see more options come up. Stretch, fit point, add fit point, remove fit point. So say I want to add fit point, okay, right here. With that, now I can put another point somewhere in here between those two. Same thing here. If I want to, I don't like the way this looks, I want to remove it, then that point is gone. And then stretch, obviously, you would just move that point around to wherever you wanted it to go. So those are options for multifunctional grips. So if you want to look at the multifunctional grip options, you type grip, M, and multifunctional is the only thing that comes up. So I wouldn't type that whole thing out if I were you. You don't have to. It's set to 3 right now. If I set it to 0, then you will see that the multifunctioning grip does not come up. It is not an option anymore. Let's go back and set it to 1. So if we set it to 1, multifunctional grips can be accessed by pressing Control to change the grip behavior. So Control, change that grip behavior. Okay? If I go grip multifunctional and change it to 2, 2 means they can be accessed via the menu displayed when you hover over a grip. So there it is. and then grip multifunctional 3. 3 means multifunctional grip options can be accessed with both the control cycling and the grip menu. So that's everything together. That's normally where we leave it on, so we have it all together in one. So let's talk about some guidelines for using grips. As you can see, if I select all this, all their grips are now selected. Okay. Well, first you have to create objects to edit, and then you can edit them with the grips. Then you select objects like I've done here to make all the grips cold. You can see every grip is blue, so every grip is cold. Select the desired hot grip, so say I want to move this. Now I have that grip selected. Press space or enter to specify what you're doing. I can move it over here based on that. So I'm moving on this one. And then once you have the move where you want, you can hit escape to cancel your grip. Now remember, if you're on a hot grip, you have to hit escape twice to cancel. So that is some guidelines for using grips. That's kind of how they work. Normally you won't move all objects at once. You'll move one thing around. You'll use snaps and all that. But snaps are all with those grips. That's how it's used. You got to be careful when you're snapping that you snap to the correct thing and don't snap to the wrong thing. All right, let's look at some grip settings. How do you bring up grip settings, you might ask? Well, let's go to Options. And then it usually comes up under Display. You can go to Selection right here, under Options. And here is your grip. Your default grip size is going to be 5 pixels. But you can make it massive if you want. I don't know why you'd want to do that. Keep it at 5, like it normally does. You can also change the grip colors. So you see right now, if it's unselected, if it's cold, it's blue. If it's hot, it's red. If you hover, it's going to be pink. And the contour, which is around the grip, you can't see it here because it's black, and if you zoom in, our background is black. But anyway, if I change that to, let's see, red, maybe not red, red's already being used. If I change that to green, maybe you could see it. That would be the hover grip color. So like that. Now you can see around the grip, you see green. Okay, so you can change your grip colors, and I don't want that to be green, by the way. Let's go back to black. There we go. Okay. So that's how you do that. So those are all your different grip colors right here. And again, you can find that right here under grip colors. Go to Options, go to Selection. This is your grip defaults. There's your grip colors. And once again, if you want to change them, you can, but I would probably keep them the same because there's no reason to change them. They're just showing you that you can. All right, there's also a dynamic grip menu, which is grip multifunctional. So type in, let's say apply OK on this. Grip MU, and it comes up again. We've already been there. And that you can change all your multifunctional grips. All right. So there are precedents that take place in this when you're working with grips and other things. So when you're working with it, let's look. The precedent order is object snaps come first, explicit coordinates second, ortho third, point filters fourth, grip auxiliary grid fifth, grips sixth, snap seventh, and digitizing a point location is eighth. So object snaps have priority over all other point selections made. As far as grips are concerned, ortho overrides grips. So ortho's 3, grips are 6. Well, 5 and 6. And then object snaps is 1. So if you're trying to work with just grips and you don't want to snap to anything, it's recommended that you turn your object snaps off while you're doing that to make sure all of it is going to work. So this week you will have exercise 2 on page 485 and exercise 4 on page 488 to work with. So good luck to you. I hope you guys do well again this week. Good luck on the quiz, and we'll talk to you on the next one.